Welcome to Simplify to Scale, a show dedicated to helping you scale a high impact and high profit business that you love without all of the complexity and chaos that can keep you trapped in the day-to-day. I'm your host, Krista Grasso, and with decades of scaling experience, I know what actually works and what's just hype. So if you are done with all of the one-size-fits-all scaling advice and all of the overnight success promises, and instead you want proven practical strategies that will help you simplify operations, elevate your leadership, amplify profits, and scale sustainably, let's dive in and get started. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Simplify to Scale show. One of the things that I've been working with my clients on quite a bit lately, and I wanted to share some insights into on this week's episode, is some things to consider when you're building out a referral system. As you know, a lot of the traditional ways of selling, especially to a little bit of a colder audience, are much different today. They're much slower today. And the thing that still is working really well for people is referrals. So no surprise that many of my clients are looking to build more intentional referral systems instead of relying on them to happen purely organically, which is what a lot of them have done in the past. And there's a key question that we consider as we're building this with each of the clients. And the answer and the approach and the strategy is a little bit different based on their business model, their clients, and what would incentivize the client. But the question itself that I always ask and that we brainstorm and frame everything around, I thought would be especially valuable for you. So here's the thing that I always have them consider when we're getting started with that referral strategy. And it's this: when you are targeting someone, are they making the decision to refer you or to support you in whatever way you're looking for support for the love of you or for the love of themselves? And so let me break that down. We all have people that we would consider to be super fans, our biggest advocates, the people who either love us as a person because maybe they know us personally, maybe they know us professionally, maybe they're clients who've gotten incredible results working with us, maybe they're the best friend that we grew up with or went to college with who just thinks we're the best thing ever, right? There are always people who will champion and who will support whatever you do because they are there for the love of you. Now, the closer that person is to your ideal target market, to someone who's gotten real benefit and real results from the work that you do, the more impactful their recommendations and their referrals are, right? Your mom referring you, or your cousin referring you, or your best friend referring you sometimes only goes so far because people only trust it so much when they know that that person has such a close relationship to you. Like if your spouse says you're the best thing ever, somebody's going to listen totally different than if one of their peers who they trust and who they look up to say you're the best thing ever, right? And so think about who are those people that promote and share and talk about you for the love of you. And within that circle, within the people that you would put in that category, which ones are closest to your ideal target market, either in who they are, so the person who wants to work with you looks at them as someone that they trust, or maybe they are themselves the type of person who would be ideal for you to work with and maybe exactly somebody that you have worked with and gotten results for in the past. So that's the first circle to consider, is for the love of you. Now, the other circle to consider is for the love of themselves, right? We're all busy. We are all so busy. There are so many demands on our time. There are so many things that we could be doing, not only with our limited time and attention, but with the limited time and attention of those in our audience and our community, right? It is very rare that I promote other people's things, not because I don't love them, not because I don't fully believe in them, but because I really value the time and attention that people give me. And I'm not going to take their time and attention to talk about somebody else or to talk about their things unless A, I know it's absolutely right for my audience, and B, it's something that I believe in so fully that it makes tons of sense for me to promote it or for me to talk about it, right? So whenever you hear me talking about someone else, know that that is from a place of I would not do it if I did not genuinely think they were awesome, because I don't care about making money from promoting other people's products. I know many people have full business models around that. I only promote people that I love. fully. However, I also sometimes am promoting someone because I'm getting something out of it. And so here's a great example. When Mike Michalowicz had published his book, Get Different, that one, the marketing book, I had an opportunity in one of his bonuses. If I bought what was the equivalent of like a truck backing up to my driveway and bringing in boxes of books, I got to actually do a ride along with him and go with him when he did a keynote. And to me, that was super valuable. It's something I would have paid for on its own. So I said, of course, I'm going to buy the truckload of books. I want to do this keynote. I want to spend the day with him. It would be super invaluable to get his feedback on my business and to just see how he actually prepares for the keynote and how he delivers it. And I wanted to see his process and his approach, plus have the opportunity to spend time with him, ask him questions, all the things. So I bought all of his books. Someone who I talk about all the time anyway, someone whose books I naturally give to my clients anyway. My clients always get profit first from me. And so, because of that, it made sense. I was doing it for the love of him, but I was also doing it for the love of me because I wanted the bonus. I wanted the thing that I was going to get that I knew would help me personally and professionally. So that was what I did. And so then I have a whole truckload of books at my house. I'm like, what on earth do I do with these books? So I actually leveraged one of the strategies in the Get Different book. And what I did was I gifted that book to a whole lot of different people. And if you've read it, you know the strategy that I'm talking about. I actually went through a book and I pulled out all of my favorite sections. I wrote sticky notes with highlights on my favorite sections of the book. I tied those sections to my particular work and how I help people really get different and make sure that the things they're doing are aligned from an operations perspective, different than the marketing perspective and lens he was taking. So it complemented the things that they might have been doing coming out of his book without, conflicting with them. So it ended up being really smart. And I gifted those books to everybody. My right hand woman, my EA, took the sticky notes that I put in one book and duplicated them across the rest of the books and then physically mailed them to people. So not only did people get a physical book from me, but now as they open up that book, whether it was right when I sent it, or I just got a message on Facebook Messenger the other day from someone who just cracked open the book. And I sent that out like years ago. And she's like, I just finally got to the book and I found all your sticky notes inside. And so it ended up being something that made me really memorable. I actually ended up getting clients from it, which was a really great strategy. And I gave somebody something valuable, which is one of my values. I love to give back. I love to support other business owners. So I will frequently participate in people's book launches and things of that nature because I know it's valuable for them in a way that I can show my support of someone who I genuinely love and believe in. But also, I am only going to buy in mass bulk or I'm only going to take certain actions if I know I'm getting something out of it too that's either going to benefit my audience and my community or that's personally going to benefit me. Like the time with Mike was time for me. I wanted to see how he approached things, see how he thinks, and to get his feedback and his eyes on my business. Ended up being a really great, smart investment on my part. So I was doing that for the love of me. And now that might sound selfish, but it's not. It's really, we all have to choose where our time and our attention goes. And I think we want to look at that strategically. So as you are thinking about asking someone to refer you, if you're thinking about asking someone to support you in a launch, whether it's a book launch, whether it's a product launch, whether it's just simply letting people know that your services exist and you have capacity and you're looking for one or two new clients, whatever that ends up being, you always want to think through those two lenses for the love of you and for the love of them. And if you think about it as a Venn diagram, and each one of them are their own unique circles, the absolute best and most powerful place that you can be is at that intersection in the middle, right? That was where Mike got me. It was that intersection in the middle. Love him, love his work, tell people about it and promote it anyway. All of my clients know and already get books from him on it. And he had something new coming out, and he just so happened to have a bulk buy package that was exactly what I wanted. And so I ended up doing it and participating in it. So that's specific to a book. But if you think about your product launches or just simply letting people know that, hey, I could take on a few more retainer clients, whatever that is, think about, is it for the love of you? Yes, that's great. Those people don't need incentive. They're going to tell everybody anything anyway because they just think you're awesome. The way that you can help those people is by giving them something that's really easy to share. Sometimes the more someone loves you, but is further from your ideal target market, they just love you and honestly kind of have no idea what you do. They can't really explain it in the words that you might want them to explain it because they barely understand it. So sometimes the best thing that you can do is give them some swipe copy or give them something that they can easily share because it will help them be more likely to share it because they don't want to get it wrong. They love you so much, they want to do it just right, but they don't entirely know how to describe what you do, or they might get it wrong. Like, I worked in technology for years, so my family still thinks I do things with computers. Like, I work on computers. Like, no, no, I'm a consultant, I'm a strategist. But, I heard you worked for a tech company. Can you help me fix my printer? No, I'm the last person on earth you want to fix the printer. Right. But that being said, people don't fully know and they want to do right by you. They want to support you. So give them a way to make that simple, give them a way to make that easy. When it comes to people that are in it for the love of themselves, whether they're in part of that overlap in the Venn diagram or whether that's purely where they are, think about what is an incentive that they would really, really want. And typically, especially if you're referring something out that's more high ticket, more high value, most people naturally think of money. And money's fine. That's great. You can certainly give referral incentives, right? I do that as well. If you know someone who's a great fit for our certification programs and you refer them, make sure you let us know, right? We absolutely do give, monetary incentives for people also. But really, what I find most people want is they want your time. They want time with you. They want access to you that they might not be able to get otherwise. And sometimes you can do a premium high level access like I did with Mike, where it was just me with him, right? But I've also done things where I get access to kind of a closed door small group session. There was someone else who had written a book. And I got access to a behind the scenes 6-hour workshop on exactly how she wrote her book, all the kind of ins and outs, pros, cons. And it was at a time where I was starting to work on mine. It was perfect timing. And that was equally valuable for me at that point in time, even though it was a group setting and I had zero like talk time with the actual person who wrote the book. It didn't matter because I was getting out of it exactly what I wanted to know. And I could care less that I was in a group setting. So think about what that love of them would make them say yes, would make them give their limited time, their limited attention, and share with their audience who they probably also deeply value and don't want to waste their time and attention either. So think about what that is. And so this to me is key in understanding this and having sometimes a different strategy for each group or really looking at and laser focusing in on the overlap, right? If you reach out to 10,000 people and ask them to be a referral partner and you play the numbers game, you'll get a certain number of people that say yes. But if you instead sit back and make a list and start to map out who are the people that would do it for the love of me and who are the people that would do it for the love of them, right? I have something that I can offer that I know that they would find immense value in. And I think they would say yes because they would find that value. They've been wanting to work with me forever. I know they're not quite yet at the place where they're able to financially do it. But if I give them access to this, I think they'd love it and they'd say yes, right? Make those two distinct lists and look at the overlap in the middle. And sometimes you are much better off and you are getting bigger leverage by just reaching out to those people in the overlap instead of trying to mass reach out to a lot of people. Targeted invites when it comes to referrals, much more powerful than general invites. The other thing to be careful of is when people are doing it for the love of them and not for the love of you, meaning it's a purely monetary decision. They're kind of out promoting anything and anyone because they're just trying to make a buck. Those people typically bring in the absolute worst leads on earth. I don't care how big their list is. I don't care if it looks like they're in your target market. At the end of the day, they tend to create more drama and more trouble, not meaning to, but because they aren't very discerning in what they're promoting, they're really just promoting for financial gain and not because they have a love particularly of the person. They're kind of equal opportunity promoters. They'll promote anyone and anything as long as they pay well enough, right? Those are typically not going to bring you the best leads. So I have found after doing this with so many clients for so many years and in my own business that that is what works best. Look for the overlap of for the love of you and for the love of them and come up with something that is super enticing and super high value for them so they will gladly take the limited time and attention and resources that they have and put it on it and they will share it with their audience and their community, whether they're directly reaching out to people or whether they are doing something like emailing their list, right? And give whoever it is you're reaching out to what they need to be able to do it with the lowest lift on their part. Sometimes that's swipe files and assets, and you can put whatever language around it that you want. Really, it's just to make it easy for them to tell people what the ask is, what you do, why you're awesome, and where they can get started. Like, is it to set up a call with you? Is it to sign up for a free workshop that you're doing? Is it to download something? Like, what is the first step that you want somebody to take? And that is the ask for them. Having them ask to have someone immediately go join a $20,000 mastermind or coaching program, not probably the smartest, first reach. But if you give them something that's an easy yes, they're happy to tell other people about it, makes sense for them. They're doing something good. They're helping their friends, their clients get a quick win, and they feel like a valuable resource for sharing what you have. And it's not something that comes with a big, huge, high ticket ask at the onset, even if that's where you're guiding the person once they come into your world. So this is a quick episode, top of mind. I literally just got off a call with another client who said, can you help me up-level my referral system? And I had this exact same conversation with her. So I decided to quickly pop on and record this because I thought that logic and that way of thinking might be really valuable for you as well. So I hope you got a lot of value out of this episode. If you did, please do share it with someone else. I am on a mission to try to expand the reach of the show and get Simplify to Scale in the hands and ears of every single entrepreneur out there who's trying to scale a high impact and high profit business that they love without all of the burnout, and would so appreciate your support. And with that, I will see you again next week. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Simplify to Scale. If you'd like to take things further, I invite you to join me for my Scale Smarter, Not Harder interactive workshop. Head to strategicopsinstitute.com/scale smarter to get registered. Not only will we dive into what might be keeping you trapped in the day-to-day, but you'll have the opportunity to ask me your questions live. If you got value out of today's episode, I'd love if you'd take a moment and rate and review the show so more businesses can learn to scale more simply and sustainably. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and I'll see you again next week.